I think I actually hate the freaking Rams. Like, I see them as a rival now. It might go all the way back to 01, but really, it goes back to 2017 with Doug Peterson when everybody is calling Sean McVay the boy genius, the coach of the year. And Doug just goes in there and wraps up the division without his starting quarterback losing him in the midst of the game, coming from behind with a backup quarterback, and then going on to win the Super Bowl. What did McVay do that year? Lose in the wild card round to the Falcons? Oh, wow. It annoys me so much, the hype that Sean McVay has gotten. To his credit, he does have a ring of his own, but even since we've moved on from Doug Peterson, the Eagles have continued to beat the crap out of Sean McVay. Sirianni's 3-0. The Eagles have won 5 of the last 6, all 6 with McVay at the helm of the Rams. They annoy me. They annoy me a lot, to the point that I think this is actually as important a September game as you can really have, given what the Eagles have coming up next. They have to go to Tampa, which is a place I'm pretty sure they have never won ever. And then the Broncos are not an easy out. That is a decent team right there. If you win on Sunday, you can guarantee yourself at least a 3-1 start in the first quarter of the season. And you know what? They absolutely should, because they're always able to beat Sean McVay. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to Philadelphia, live in the Xfinity Lounge. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Happy 2-year anniversary. It's like a week behind, but we actually celebrated our 2-year anniversary here at PHLY today. So thank you to all my colleagues and my tremendous producer, Tyler Zulli, who is with me here in the Xfinity Lounge. Let's hit some headlines. First one we have today. This is the only thing I'm going to say about the Phillies today, because quite honestly, that was the most predictable loss of the season. After 2 thrilling wins, you know what? It is. They were going to let one get away from them, and they did. They lose 5-0 in LA last night. 3 hits and 6 base runners. Tyler, I'm not nuts, right? That was like the most predictable loss of the season.
Well, I think the Phillies have kind of made it their point to win the first 2 games and then drop game 3 of a series kind of frequently this year. At least it seems that way.
Getaway day is legitimately getaway day for them in almost every series. It's like, oh yeah, the other team could have like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a position player pitching. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They are just dropping that 3rd game.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, they did what they needed to do, right? They took
yeah.
they handled business once again. It's a 6th straight series win, and we just continue to think about the teams that they've beaten over the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks. They now won a series against the Dodgers. They've won a series against the Mets. They've won a series against the Mariners. They've won a series against the Brewers. They're just continuing to do exactly what they need to do. And when you go on a West Coast road trip, especially one that could dictate where you're seated, to start 2-1 gives you a little bit of a cushion, because even if you were to lose 2 out of 3 to Arizona, which I don't expect, but they could, you end up finishing the road trip 3-3, and you held serve, and that's really all I can ask for.
I said this yesterday. For the first time in a long time, I believe this team to be resilient. I tweeted that clip out from the show this morning, and I said I expect them to bounce right back. Yeah, it was a bad game, and we have seen the fatal flaw of this team. Sometimes they let it snowball. But I think the personality has changed. I think the vibes are different this year, and I'm confident. So I really don't need to say too much else about the Phils today because, yeah, they lost one. They play 162. They were bound to lose again. they're playing really good ball headed.
I think you can look at that game and say, hey, tip of the cap. Blake Snell was really good. 12 strikeouts, and I give him a lot of credit. That was an old school pitcher feel. That was like Max Scherzer, Bob Gibson, like, get off my mound. I'm getting this dude out. And not only did he get him out, but he punches him out. Yeah. Like, I give him a little bit of credit. He pitched well last night.
And the Dodgers, it was a must-win game. Their season doesn't end. But they can't get swept at home when they're still fighting for positioning. Like, they kind of had to win at least one after they lose the first two. So it's kind of a tip the cap, and we move on. Speaking of moving on, we have a new season. That's right. Flyers have opened training camp today. Yesterday was the unofficial first day. It's media rights holders. Everyone gets their pictures taken. Those, cutaways in game where, like, Sean Couturier's taping his stick and stuff. They film all that. But today they are on the ice. Trevor Zegras, first time officially as a Flyer. Matvei Mishkov, his sophomore season is underway. Rick Tocchet. Oh, there's a bell next to me. That's fun. Just drop my ring right down on that bell. Rick Tocchet, his first real day as head coach of the full squad. And I get excited for a new season. I know that they are not Stanley Cup contenders, but it's just fun to think that there's going to be something new this year, a new coach, a new maybe star player or contributing star player in Trevor Zegras. I haven't had a chance to catch the first episode of their little mini docuseries, The Flyers Way, which I don't love the name of, but I've heard it's actually pretty good, but maybe I'm going to get a chance to catch it before the PHLY Flyers show today, which is at 4. Tune in right here on the PHLY YouTube. But it's just fun that the orange and black are back on the ice. That's what it comes down to. A new season underway with a new coach, and they're looking to change directions. They're looking to become better, and it's been a little while. I could definitely go for some better hockey.
Yeah, and when Danny Briere and Dan Hilferty and Jonesy spoke, this past couple of weeks, the reality of this team is like, maybe we don't make the playoffs, maybe we do, but the one thing you are going to see is more accountability. You're going to see this team get kind of headed in the right direction. You brought it up on your show with Charlie a couple weeks ago when the day after they talked, where like last year was kind of an expected regression, and this year is the righting of the ship of, maybe our record doesn't end up being a top 8 record in the East, but I think they're going to look to be a different team, look to be a more competitive team, look to have that type of team where if your goaltending play isn't legitimately like the worst in the history of hockey, you could be playing for something meaningful in April. Even if you fall short, there should be some type of meaningful hockey being played, in March and April as the season kind of comes to an end.
Yeah, in the second half of the season, they're going to play some games that matter. That's the goal, and I think they can do it. Now, Tyler brings up the goaltending. I mean, it can't get worse, right? It can't get worse, but it does need to be legitimately better. But better is league average. If they had just close to average goaltending, the team could be considerably better. I am looking forward to a new season. And my most important headline today, happy birthday, Mom. I am extraordinarily lucky to have two extremely awesome, supportive parents. And today is my mother's birthday, September 18th, exactly a week before mine. So it's very easy to keep track of for me, which is good. But I just have to shout out because my mom watches the show every day. Imagine listening to me all for 36 years and then let me put them on YouTube. Thank you very much, Mom, and happy birthday.
Hey, I give your mom a lot of credit because I've told my mom and all of people like that are in my life, I'm like, listen, all I need you to do, hit the subscribe button. You don't have to watch. Yep. Just hit the because you don't want to listen to me for another hour. I'm like, I live with you. Do you need more of me? But credit to your mom. Happy birthday to your mom. Hope it's a wonderful day.
All right, and with that, let's take our first commercial break. All right, sports fans, listen up. September's here. That means football's back, school's in, and that makes it the perfect time to get your finances back in shape, too. I've been checking in on my credit score lately, and let me tell you, if you're a member at TrueMark Financial Credit Union, you've already got a serious edge. They've got this free tool called Savvy Money right inside their online banking and mobile app. I use it myself, and seriously, it's like having your own financial coach right in your pocket. You can check your credit score anytime without taking a hit, get tips on how to improve it, and even get alerts if anything changes. That's what I call playing smart defense with your money. So if you're already on Team TrueMark, fire up that app and check out Savvy Money today. And if you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? Step up your financial game, swing by one of their 24 branches, or visit TrueMark.com/PHLY to open an account. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, don't find yourself getting fan-fished by a buddy who says his setup is awesome and then you go to watch the big games or the games, plural, this weekend as college and pro football are getting closer and closer, and you end up finding out that his setup is a mess. You lag, you get buffering, you have to switch between apps just to find the game that you're looking for. If you have that big fan in your life, you need to get Xfinity, and it is the ultimate sports destination. You can find all of the best games and all of your favorite teams all in one place, and the way that you watch becomes next level. It is the perfect fan flex for all of the action right in your living room. Plus, Xfinity offers best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. It's going to feel like it's so clear you are in the stadium. So sometimes you can get going 4 games at once. Go to that quad box. It looks great. You get an opportunity to check in on some out-of-town scores, watch some college teams you didn't really get a chance to watch last week. The quad box is the way to go. And on top of that, you get real-time notification and live stats right on your TV. It is the best seat in the house every single time. Next game day, make sure your big fan in your life isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that.
All right, it's time for some obligatory Eagles. It's time to talk some birds, baby. And I told you at the top that I'm real excited for this game because the Rams in my head have turned into, like, they're not the Cowboys or Giants, but outside of division rivals, they are way up there for me. And I am looking forward to this one. And maybe it goes back to the whole Sean McVay thing in 2017. Like I was saying, it just annoyed me so much that, okay, he's the coach of the year. The Eagles beat them head-to-head while losing their starting quarterback in the process. They have a better record. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. But for some reason, oh no, it's McVay because I guess we didn't believe in Jared Goff at the time. I don't know, but that just annoyed the hell out of me. And ever since, I have seen them as a rival. They go and beat them again in 18. Nick Sirianni now is 3-0 against Sean McVay. And last year's playoff matchup, dear Lord, what an epic game! That's one of the all-time. The Saquon in the snow banging his helmet. I don't know of many images that are more iconic, especially in recent memory. But that game was abso-freaking-lutely wild. Like, Saquon goes for 205 and 2. The team runs for 285 yards in a modern playoff game. That doesn't seem like a thing that's possible. Hurts took a safety. Like, how many teams take a safety in the playoffs and win? I bet you the number isn't all that high. There was 12 total sacks in the game, including Jalen Carter's essential game-sealing play on 3rd down in the red zone. Like, just an absolute banger of a game. And it feels as if they've played a lot of those. The game in which Wentz got hurt in 2017, like, man, that was an awesome back-and-forth contest. Foles comes in. I think it's BG at the end, scores a defensive touchdown to seal it. Like, that was wild. They have just played some really, really good matchups over the years. And I'm looking forward to another one coming up, Tyler. And as Tyler's just, the board is just not responding to him.
I am literally, sorry, that's just me. I'm just literally just poking the buttons. Like, we need a full factory reset of this thing. You know, it's funny. I remember talking to Black Gritty on John Mark's show a couple months ago now, talking about the Rams, and he was almost fed up about us discussing the Rams as a team that has, I don't know, playoff aspirations, playoff value, because I think his one thought was, well, every time they play the Eagles, they lose. Which I think numerically over the last couple of years has been true, right? The Eagles have had Sean McVay's number. You bring up the Doug Peterson year. You bring up last year's postseason. I will say this. I think of the teams that were in the playoffs last year, the 4 teams that they played, that game was the one where I had the most worry. And it wasn't because of the snow. I was the most worried about that game heading into that game because of the fact that Stafford's the type of quarterback that just takes what's given to him. And he's not the gunslinger that he was in Detroit, but he's still a really, really good quarterback. Pair that with a good front four like you saw with Jared Verse and Braden Fiske, and you start to get a team that could pose problems for the Eagles. Then obviously Green Bay, now looking at Green Bay, that's a huge hurdle now with Micah Parsons, and it seems like they're playing some pretty good football so far. But that Rams team last year was like, this is a good team, and I think if you don't take them very, very seriously, you're going to be on the end of a losing effort, and we're all going to be pissed off.
Until the Super Bowl, and listen, they killed the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are working on a three-peat.
Sure, I should probably rephrase that until the Super Bowl.
No, just until the Super Bowl, the only team that I thought had a chance was the Rams. That Commanders team just wasn't ready. I would say the same thing about that Packers team, just teams where, all right, the window's opening, but it's not open yet. Maybe it is this year, but going into those playoffs, you look at those Rams, they are well coached. They do have a veteran quarterback. They have been there and done it before. And it was, I would absolutely say the biggest threat. And you just look at the way the game ended. It's 3rd and I think 2, and they're on the 12
marching.
They're on the 12 or 13. And if Jalen Carter doesn't come up with that sack, they lose 8 yards. They're scoring and at least tying the game because the Eagles were up 6. They missed the extra point. So an extra point puts the Rams ahead with very little time left. That was really the game, the one game where the result was in doubt at any point, I'd say.
Yeah, and obviously on top of that, it's a lot of returnees. Obviously they lose Cooper Kupp, but instead of Cooper Kupp, they have Devontae Adams, who I would argue is an upgrade over Cooper Kupp at this point. Puka Nacua is still a legit, all over the field target. That's a guy that if he catches 12, 15 balls in a game, you go, oh yeah, I can see why, because he's a really good route runner. Kyron Williams, nothing spectacular as a runner, but a really, really just rock solid runner who maybe has a little bit of a fumbling problem, but very opportunistic, scores a ton of touchdowns. It's a good team. I think that this is going to be a good challenge for the Eagles early in the season, the next 2 weeks really, because you got Tampa Bay coming up after that.
I know I am a few years older than you, Tyler. Do you remember the 0-1 NFC title game at all?
I do, but it was more it was kind of like, go Eagles, I love the Eagles type of fandom. I think for me, the one that really first set in was 03. 02 a little bit more, but the Panthers one, I remember being that was my despondent moment. 01 was kind of yay, the Eagles are in the NFC Championship game.
0-1, going in, I wasn't oh man, I'm going to die if they don't win this game. Yeah, it was nice to be there, but you really didn't expect it. The Rams are still kind of the greatest show on turf team. They'd won a Super Bowl already. They're going to St. Louis. And the Eagles weren't really again, that window opening, but not open probably. I mean, you had that sort of team.
For either borderline or actually in Hall of Fame players on that offense alone. Yeah. Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner at quarterback, the receivers, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Smith. That was a great offense. And I think for the most part, you're right. It was kind of hey, the Eagles have kind of arrived. They're here and they could be sustainable. And then they just happened to run into that team.
Yeah, I was I didn't, I'm just starting. I hadn't really lived through any of the Buddy years or any of those disappointments. I was born in 88, but this was my first real heartbreak. And I didn't see it coming going in. But then they're up 17-13 at the half. And we're going to the Super Bowl, which is not something that I could really grasp at the time because that was never on the table in my Eagles' lifetime. And suddenly they're in the NFC title game. They come out of the half, 3 straight 3-and-outs, eventually score to get back within 5, get the ball back. Donnie throws a pick, and that's that. And I was despondent. That took so much out of me. And that's really the beginning of I guess my dislike of Andy Reid and a game that he wasn't even supposed to be in that he almost could have won. And I realized the hypocrisy and the craziness of. Yeah, these were the moments that made me the fan I am. And it's also the reason I hate the Rams.
I think of the 4 NFC Championship game losses that Andy Reid suffered as the Eagles head coach, that is easily the most palatable one.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think back on it, right? You go to Arizona, Larry Fitzgerald single-handedly beat them, and that was frustrating because I'm watching guys fall down as he's walking into the end zone. Tampa Bay and Carolina, there's no excuse. You're the better team in both of those games. The Rams game, I don't want to say it's excusable because it really sucks to get under the doorstep and lose, but that is probably as I think palatable is the right word to use, because that was a bet. Like, I think about the 2022 Phillies losing the World Series. Now that we're a couple years removed, I go, yeah, man, the Astros were really freaking good.
Like, that was an historic pitching staff. It's not a shock they got no hit. You know, I wish they hadn't been, but looking at it, it's like, yeah, I could see that happening. I always thought that 0-1 NFC title game was kind of poetic, though, because that's the Eagles' last game of the season, and they opened the season against that Rams team, and it was one of those moments when you were seeing the Eagles arrive, because, again, it's the freaking Rams. They're really good, and it's a young Eagles team. You're wondering exactly what they are, and they lose that game 20-17, and it is on the back of, it's Hank Fraley's first start, because longtime center Bubba Miller broke his ankle in the final preseason game. They had the starters actually play in week 4 against the Jets, and on the first drive, Bubba Miller, who started every game the week before, breaks his ankle, and on the first play from scrimmage, Brian Mitchell returns the kick. I think he gets to the 12. It was like great coverage. First play from scrimmage, Hank Fraley and Donovan McNabb fumble the snap, and the Rams take 2 plays to score, and they end up losing by 3. And it was like, man, if we could just eliminate that one freaking mistake, and they get to the NFC title game, and they're cruising, and one fatal interception, and that's it. And maybe that's what it goes back to, is that 0-1 season, because this Rams team, other than, the Cowboys, the Giants, I don't even know if I see the Commanders as that rival, because they've been irrelevant for until this year, basically. But the Rams are way up there for me in terms of NFC rivals.
Interesting, because I really don't have any feel towards them, other than, I just kind of remember that game. Why do I keep doing that? I just remember that game as the stepping stone game, the one that we felt like, okay, they'll be back. This team's legit. They're going to be back, and and they ended up being back, the 3 straight years, finally get over the hump against the Falcons. But I think about, that team doesn't affect me necessarily the way that other teams do in the NFL, and I'm trying to come to a team. I think it's probably San Francisco. That is that team that really doesn't have the divisional impact, and that's more recent, obviously, with the NFC Championship games and them running up the score in the regular season, and the 49ers fan base and the Eagles fan base clashing. I think it's probably the 49ers for me.
Yeah, the Niners, it was them for that short period of time, in between beating them in the NFC title game in the following couple of years. But, things have just gone so wrong for them ever since. It's just, they are the ultimate bad luck team that it's, all right, yeah, man, they got a good roster, and they'll probably win some games, but they are going to lose half of their players every year. And they already have. They're already having injury problems again. So, I've moved on from them, and now maybe it's, already back to the Rams after all these years, just because they are good. They're 2-0. I'm really looking forward to Sunday's game.
Yeah, and I think, Jesse Bond brings up the other team you might consider is Tampa Bay, but Jesse's right. You do not, the way that you've beaten up on McVay's teams, the Bucks and Todd Bowles' teams have beaten up on you.
No, I legitimately hate the Buccaneers. They are a top tier, Bill hates them. That's not even I think I might hate the Rams. They're actually a rival. Yeah, no, the Buccaneers are, I hate them the way I hate the Penguins and the Mets. I cannot stand those freaking teams, man. Because that was those were the worst 2 games in Eagles history as far as I'm concerned. The 0-2 title game and opening the Lincoln 0-3, that's the low point of the franchise. And this is a team that I've seen win 3 and 5 games before. All right. With that, we have to take our second break. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. With new casino games like Huff N' More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, it is my favorite casino app game because it's got all my It's my favorite casino app because it's got all my favorite casino games like blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra. They've also got slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and and Squid Game. And now new users can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Just go to betparks.com and download the app right now to enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParks. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParks. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, y'all. We know we love you. And we appreciate you, and we're thank you for being a part of this community. Well, we want to hear from you now. So take an opportunity and head on over to allphly.com/survey and tell us how we can improve our shows, how we can get better by understanding and listening to you and what you value most. That's why we've launched this survey. Your feedback is going to help us shape our content that you love and make it even better. It only takes a couple of minutes, but it does make a big impact here for us here at PHLY. So again, head on over to allphly.com/survey and let your voice be heard. Respondents do have a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card because we love you and we appreciate you. So head on over to allphly.com/survey, or you can scan that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen. Just takes a couple of minutes, and it gives you an opportunity to win a $100 Amazon.com gift card. Again, thanks so much for being a part of our PHLY family.
I would be remiss, Tyler, if I did not mention the 1949 NFL championship. Played in a torrential downpour, apparently, between the Eagles and Rams out in the LA Coliseum. Eagles win 14-0, back-to-back shutouts for their back-to-back championships. All right, we got to get to this because Tyler is blown away by it. This is the People Are Strange segment. Just pretend the Doors are playing in the background. I got to tell you about the 8th annual Grave Digging Championship because I would absolutely watch this on television. So every year, grave diggers from around the world gather in Hungary to compete in the International Grave Digging Championship. You have to dig a grave that is 2 meters long, 80 centimeters wide, and 1.6 meters deep within 2 hours, and then shovel approximately 2.5 tons of dirt back into the hole to create a neat burial mound. Performance is graded on a 10-point scale based on speed, aesthetics, and precision. And this year, the Hungarian team, Parkalecov nonprofit KFT, managed to snag first prize, second straight championship, and they did it in 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 20 seconds, defending their title from last year. It's absolutely insane this exists, and I kind of want to watch it on TV.
You sent that in our group thread that we use, and my response
Everyone
was
is like, "What are you talking about?"
The what? And the funny thing is, like, the picture that you sent me gives me even more questions because my question becomes like, how do you get into this? Because you know what I mean? Like anything you do in life, how do you get into it, right? Instrument, sport, whatever it might be. There's natural ways to get into most things that you do. But this is like an event that, what do you just realize one day, like, hey, I'm really good at digging holes. What is this?
It seems like it's like there's cremation centers and like professional, I guess, funeral people who are involved in this. But everybody that, like, you show the picture, I don't know if everyone's wearing a branded shirt. There might just be some people who are like, yeah, I kind of dig some graves on the side to support my other criminal activities. I think I could win this championship too.
So because of the fact that is, you know, an illegal activity most of the time, I don't know how you come to the grips of like, you know, it would be really cool if we brought all of these criminals together and we made an event out of it. And the event got so big, it just became a sporting event.
Well, that's the other thing I was just thinking of, like, how many grave diggers are left? Aren't they just using a backhoe these days? Like, isn't it just a machine?
I think so.
It's never two guys with a shovel anymore, right?
I think so.
I have no idea. But I just had to bring that to people's attention that there is an international grave digging championship. It was decided last week, and I wish this was an event we could bet on. Bet365, BetPark, someone get behind this thing. All right, before we wrap up, I want to hit social studies because not only are the Sixers bringing back the black jerseys that people have been clamoring for years, but it was announced they're also bringing back the throwback court, Tyler, and we got pictures of that today, but now they need to complete it. They need to bring back hip hop. It has to be hip hop. No disrespect to Franklin, but maybe a little. He's by far, like, he is a distant fourth in the city's mascot power rankings, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think the Fanatic is still number one.
The Fanatic is the all-time greatest mascot. There's no beating it.
I would then say I think Gritty has become number two.
Gritty has really endeared himself to the city. He very much represents the chaotic nature of who we think we are.
And Swoop is fine.
Swoop is the stoic. He represents, I think, the eagle very well. Like, he's not goofy, but he's just like, I am an eagle. And I think it represents the brand that they are trying to get across.
He's very much
nobility.
like he's very much like Sam Eagle from the Muppets.
Yes.
We're like,
I am told in profile I look like Sam the Eagle. It's something that people have told me through the years.
Well, see,
so
now I gotta go on. Now I gotta go on Photoshop and put you two together.
I have always hated Sam the Eagle, and I am told in profile, like, it's the bushy eyebrows and the point. Like, I guess it all comes together. But if we're gonna bring the Big Five into it, the Hawk and Hooter blow Franklin away too, right?
The Hawk for sure, because the Hawk is a difficult task, man.
Yeah, man. The Hawk is a real thing, and Hooter. Listen, I went to Temple. I gotta shout out Hooter. Great name, if nothing else.
Well, like, so I'll say this. Obviously, not in Philly, but as a Penn State alum, the Nittany Lion sucks. Not like the logo is cool, but the Nittany Lion is like,
it is a good
raggedy
logo.
And like it looks like you just pulled out somebody's laundry and have been wearing the costume for 150 years.
He looks like, you know, the old pictures of, like, when Reagan or Bush were cheerleaders. Like, that would be the mascot in those black and white photos.
And it just hasn't changed.
He hasn't been upgraded since the 40s or whatever, you know? So, but, like, I guess maybe I could appreciate that. But, like, no, the mascot itself, not great. But hip-hop was so good, man. I like the dunks and just the name, like, fit the time so well that I think if you're going to do the court and you're going to do the jerseys, you got to bring back hip-hop.
Well, and two, the guy behind hip-hop was such a good athlete.
Incredible.
Like, I think about Gritty now. Whoever's Gritty now is an elite athlete. I got to figure out who it is, but they're a great athlete.
He was in costume at the unveiling of the Xfinity Mobile Arena riding a motorcycle, which just seems very difficult in, like, a thing you can't see out of and weighs probably 50 pounds. Like, that just seems like a very difficult task. He gets lowered from the rafters. He can skate. Like, he does a lot of stuff. But hip-hop, definitely the original acrobatic guy in town. The Fanatic is just the Fanatic. Like, you're not asking him to do anything but the Fanatic routine, and he's awesome at it. But if we're doing this, it's got to be hip-hop. All right. That is all the time we have for you on Philadelphia today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure you make your donations to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America. You can do so right below the chat box here on YouTube. Very much appreciate you helping us reach our goal of $50,000. Hit the like button. Do it. We need more likes. 20 is not enough. Need more likes. All right, that is it. I am Bill Matz. Thank you to Tyler Zulli. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.